Who are the people experiencing homelessness?
It could be anybody. I never thought it would be me, but here I am.
Brianna Humber says her job didn't pay much and she got behind on bills. Soon after, she and her 4 children were living in a hotel.
5 of us crammed in a little one-room hotel.
They live in Lexington, Kentucky, where this month a state law known as the Safer Kentucky Act passed. Among other criminal justice provisions, the bill outlaws street camping. In cities around the country, some homeless people have resorted to living on the streets in tent encampments. Brianna and her children never had to sleep outside, but they have experienced not having a home.
Whenever we're just living in a hotel, it's not much space.
And whether we like to admit it or not, families are the majority of those experiencing homelessness in Kentucky.
Jenny Ramsey is the director of the Catholic Action Center in Lexington, a place providing food, shelter, and community for the unhoused. She opposes the Kentucky law banning street camping. Ramsey says it will criminalize the homeless and perpetuate an idea that homeless men and women abuse drugs or have criminal backgrounds.
And that's false. I mean, there are more criminals and addicts who are housed than those who are not housed.
Recent data reported by the Department of Housing and Urban Development shows just 21% of individuals experiencing homelessness have reported a serious mental illness, and only 16% have reported having a substance use disorder. But some say this data doesn't reveal the full picture of homelessness or focus on particular groups. And when it comes to public policy making, it's time for some new ideas.
In Kentucky, you have what I would describe as a first step.
Devin Kurtz is the Public Safety Policy Director for the Cicero Institute. His organization supports the street camping ban in the Kentucky bill, and it has supported similar measures in other states, including Florida.
I would say that homeless people are presently suffering, and suffering to greater degrees in places that don't enforce this than in places that do.
Specifically, the Cicero Institute is looking at the unsheltered homeless population, which includes people who live on the streets. Kurtz says data suggests there is a higher percentage of drug abuse within this subsection. Citing a University of California San Francisco study, Kurtz says 2/3 of homeless people in the state of California reported regularly using hard narcotics at some point in life, and less than half reported receiving treatment. So he says the chronically homeless live in a bad cycle on the streets. They don't receive the supportive care they need, and they become a vulnerable population ensnared in an environment that invites crime around them. He used Los Angeles as one example.
About a quarter of the city's violent crime was connected to a homeless person, either as a victim or as an offender, and oftentimes it's both. This is not about arresting homeless people. To the contrary, it's about helping people get services.
Now even more attention will be focused on homeless encampments. The U.S. Supreme Court has taken up the Grants Pass versus Johnson case, stemming from the small city of Grants Pass, Oregon, which also banned camping in public spaces. Gloria Johnson, a homeless woman in Grants Pass, objected to the law. Whatever ruling the court makes could have a major impact.
The Johnson versus Grants Pass case is the most impactful case about homelessness in at least 40 years. It will have long-standing repercussions about how states deal with homelessness.
Jesse Rabinowitz is the campaign and communications director for the National Homelessness Law Center. The group opposes the Grants Pass camping ban and laws in Kentucky and Florida. He says they won't help people get off the streets.
These policies of criminalization make homelessness worse. As we saw in Grants Pass, people were given criminal records because they were homeless. So when they go to apply for a job or apply for an apartment, they're getting rejected.
Advocates like Rabinowitz say the Grants Pass law violates the 8th Amendment of the Constitution, amounting to cruel and unusual punishment by penalizing people who have nowhere else to go.
That punishing people for being poor is not an American value.
And in an amicus brief sent to the Supreme Court, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops expressed concern with the Grants Pass law, stating, "The Catholic Church, consistent with Western tradition, has long taught that the homeless are to be helped, not punished. It also has long taught that punishments must be proportional to the crimes for which they are imposed. Underlying both teachings is a simple principle: respect for human dignity. The city's punitive laws cannot be squared with this principle." Underlying legislative and legal debates, questions arise like what are the best ways to help those who are unsheltered, keep cities safe, clean, and help communities thrive. Now, the state of California is receiving some criticism for its handling of the issue. This month, a state audit found that California spent more than $20 billion to tackle homelessness over the past 5 years. But where the money went and how effectively it was used isn't entirely clear. and the problem doesn't seem to be improving in many cities. To fix homelessness around the country, Rabinowitz says elected officials could do better.
Homelessness is a choice. It is a choice made every day by our elected officials who fail to fund the housing that's needed to end homelessness. But it is not a choice made by people sleeping outside. They are doing the very best they can to survive.
But the Cicero Institute is concerned with more permanent forms of government-subsidized housing that it says doesn't encourage and incentivize people coming off the streets to stay off drugs. Instead, it hopes more of an emphasis will be placed on a treatment-first approach, which includes temporary housing and services focused on recovery. Kurt says public policy around homelessness should demand accountability, and shelter without the supportive services to address underlying health and wellness concerns could do more harm.
It's a really sloppy approach. And the Grants Pass case is one part of allowing communities to take back control of an issue that for too long has been dominated by the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development and its funding to community organizations. States really need to play a bigger role. We need more localized solutions.
Those who have worked with the homeless for years say keep this in mind.
All the ways of judgment of a group of folks just because they're unhoused, and they're all different. Everybody's got their own barriers. Everybody's got their own story.
For Brianna Humber and her children, it was a local creative community solution that helped the family get out of that crammed hotel room and finally housed. Jenny Ramsey with the Catholic Action Center collaborated with T.C. Johnson. She works with a federal program in public schools that helps students who experience homelessness.
It takes a village, so it takes all of us to come together, all denominations, all community agencies. It takes us all to come together for one common goal, to ensure that what we are doing is lifting people up and lifting people out.
Ramsey and Johnson further collaborated with a small real estate company led by Brian Babbage, who found this home for Brianna's family. He hopes to get more involved in this type of outreach.
And figure out ways to help, and we've always wanted to have kind of a charitable arm of the real estate company.
And the family is pretty happy too. They now have a place they can call home.
Oh,
It felt good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was very joyful.
nice.
I wasn't even expecting to receive any help like this.
Mark Irons, EWTN News In Depth.